Welcome back to the Alcohol Tipping Point podcast. I am your host, Deb Maisner, registered nurse, health coach, and alcohol-free badass and mom. Today on the show, I have my daughter, Alice. I am the mom of two daughters. One is 12 years old. Her name is Alice, and my other daughter is 15. Her name is Mirabelle. And Alice is on the show just to share what her experience was like having a mom who struggled with drinking, struggled with quitting drinking, and then now having a sober mom. And so I just think it's important to, if you're a parent, if you have kids, if you're a daughter, if you're a son, just to talk to your family about your drinking, and in a very honest and transparent way, and to hear what they have to say and what their experience was like. I know that I have a lot of guilt and regret about my years drinking. I mean, I quit when they were 10 and 13, and I probably spent the majority of their grade school years, a lot of their toddler years, just drinking and numbing out and checking out at night. I know that I need to own that and be responsible for the choices I made, but I can also now own my recovery and having made changes in my life. And I think it's important for your kids to see that you're not perfect. No parent is perfect. And I think it's really valuable for them to see that you can change and that change is possible and recovery is possible, and that we are real people who struggle with problems, whether it's drinking too much or maybe it's another problem you have in your life and you struggle with it. And so our children need to see that. They need to see that the world isn't perfect. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, that life is tough, life is hard, but so are we. And we can do hard things. So that is why I invited Alice to be on my show and just share her experience and what it was like for her. I really found this to be special, and I hope that you find value of it too. And it encourages you to have a conversation with your own family members. All right, thank you for listening, and here is the show. This is Alice. She is my daughter. She's 12, turning 13 here in a month. Welcome to the show, Alice. Thanks for coming on and just kind of sharing what your experience was like with having a mom who drank, and then having a mom who tried to quit for years, and then now having a sober mom. So you are 12 now. And I quit drinking January 1st, 2020, for good. So that's been a couple years for you. That's hard to believe, you were only 10. But I would say probably from the time you were 5 to 10, for 5 years, I was on and off trying to quit.
5?
Yeah. Do you remember?
I remember when you were trying to quit, but since I was 5?
Yeah. I would say you were in kindergarten.
I thought you just started in 5th grade.
That's when I got more serious about it.
You were trying to quit all the way back then?
I'd have been trying to quit for years.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, what do you remember? What do you remember about me drinking?
I remember you had to make weird food combinations in the middle of the night. And then you dropped meat on your toe one time. Frozen meat. Were you sober for that or not?
I don't know, but yes. So I would not eat dinner.
Nope, she didn't eat.
I wouldn't eat dinner because I would drink, and then I would get really hungry at night and make disgusting combination of food.
They were so gross. I'd always judge her.
So, yeah. Yeah.
It was like nachos, but she'd fry them in pans with weird canned stuff. That was weird.
Yeah, I always had a craving for carbs and food I wouldn't normally eat, and pretty much not eat most of the day, drink, and then have some kind of heavy carb, high fat meal at night, if you want to call it a meal. Yeah. What else do you remember?
You had like bad, annoying friends. Like that one lady, if you know, you know, from the Super Bowl party.
Oh, yeah. So I was more likely to like have friends over or be with friends.
And like heavy drinker friends. You were friends with them. You'd hang out with them more. And like,
Yeah. So what do you remember when I was first starting to drink and how concerned you were?
yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I would like go to the store with her and she'd get like a bottle of wine out in the cart and I'd start yelling at her in the middle of the store that it was gonna kill her and I'd start crying whenever she drank. And me and my friend Blue, that I've known for like my entire life, would always like scheme stuff to make you not drink.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like we would look up stuff that like to like stop drinking and alcohol facts and stuff.
Yeah, I remember you were scared.
Yeah.
And I think maybe because you were saying, within the last few years, you probably were in like third, fourth grade when I was getting more serious about it in fifth grade. And that's when you started to learn about it in school too.
I didn't really know what you were like when you were drunk before you started doing weeks without alcohol. Like, I would like, before you started getting serious about being sober, it was just normal to me. But then when you'd go like a week or a month without drinking and then go back to drinking, I would notice like drastic changes.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, that's what I would like, that's kind of what made me realize and like turn into a little
Gremlin?
about.
So when I was drinking? Or you were the gremlin turning
Yeah, when
me not.
yeah, like I didn't realize that it was bad until you were better without it and then you drink again.
Oh, yeah. Well, what kinds of things did you notice with it versus without it?
Well, like when you like were drinking, you were like loose and tired and just like careless. But then when you weren't drinking, you like kind of could focus more on like work and life and stuff and like cleaning and cooking. But when you were drunk, you would just like lay on the couch and like you'd like get mad or like laugh at things. And it was weird.
Yeah. And then you got to where you were liking sober mom better than drunk
Yeah,
mom.
I didn't like drunk mom at all.
Really?
I didn't like how you'd do weeks and I'd like be mad because at the end of the week you'd always get a bottle of wine to like celebrate a week sober.
Yeah, I remember at one point because you were so invested in it, and that kind of broke my heart a little bit because you were just really like on me about it.
I was.
And I would say, this is my treat. I'm gonna have wine tonight because I went a week without it. Like kind of comparing to you having candy or something like that.
I remember I would say, I have to go 21 years without alcohol and you only had to go a week. So why are you making such a big deal about it or rewarding a week? I would say stuff like that a lot. Yeah, in a way, do you think you're like, "What is the big deal? Why can't you go
Yeah,
longer without?"
I didn't get why it was so hard for you to go, like, longer than a week without alcohol.
Mhm. And then I remember at one point I had to tell you I felt like I had to take the responsibility away from you because I feel like you carried a lot of the responsibility and just tell you, like, "This is my thing. I'm working on this. You don't need to manage it for me. This is what I'm working on." Like, I didn't want you to be so stressed about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I felt like you were going to, like, go down the wrong path.
Yeah, like we do. We have a family member who has really struggled with drugs and alcohol, and yeah, I bet it was scary.
It was scary because I feel like you drink more, like, kind of, like, after you started becoming sober or, like, as you rewarded yourself, you would drink, like, a lot.
I did. You're right. Like I would feel like, okay, this is going to be the last time. I better just go all in.
Yeah,
And then I would be like in bed all day. Do you remember that?
kinda.
Mm. And so how else do you think it affected you?
I don't know, I think it kinda, like, made me realize, like, how other people, like, experience their parents being drinkers and stuff. Like, when I go over to people's, like, friend's house and their, like, mom or dad had a glass of wine, I'd be kind of confused. Because I felt normal that you didn't drink after you became sober. But I kind of forgot, like, what it felt like to have a drinking mom.
Okay, so you mean now.
Yeah, like, I don't remember what it was really like to have a mom that drank.
And now you go over to your friend's house and their parents are drinking. And that
Yeah, or their parents are, like, getting drunk and, like, my friends, like, are like, "Yeah, that happens a lot," and I'm like, "Are you not worried?" Or, like,
yeah, and what do they say? What do your friends say about their parents?
some of my friends don't like when their parents drink, and then a few of my other friends are just like, "Yeah, well, I mean, my mom just has, like, a glass or 2 at dinner, so it's fine." But I'm like, I don't know.
It must be kind of weird now you're in junior high and people are gonna start experimenting. And here you have parents saying like, no drinking, drinking's bad for you. Like you've been getting that message in school and health class for a long time, but now you're seeing more people just do it in general. What do you think? Like, what are your views on drinking and alcohol?
I mean, like, it's, like, not good at, like, an age of mine or well, of course it isn't, but, like, I just feel like you're kinda, like if you're, like, going into drugs and alcohol at this young age, I feel like you're just kinda, like, giving up on the rest of your life.
When you're young.
Yeah, and, like, some of my, like, friends and people that I know do, like, drugs and stuff, and I just kinda think it's, like, embarrassing that you feel the need to, like like, there's so many other ways to get over your problems or, like, like talk to somebody, but you decide to misuse substances.
Mm. Do you think the people that you know that are like experimenting with
Yeah.
drugs or alcohol, are they doing it for fun? Or are they doing it, like you said, to get over their problems?
Well, I have this one friend who does it because she has like problems, but then I had this other friend who like did it because she wanted like other people to like her.
Okay. Yeah.
And she was really against it too.
Mhm.
But she only did it because she wanted people to like her. She like wants to like start doing it. Like at first she just like hit other people's vapes, but now she wants to like get all of her own stuff.
Do you think you see more vapes now? Is that the main thing people are doing?
Yeah, there's like a lot of people do that. Some people, it's kind of weird in that in 7th grade, some people are already drinking alcohol and like doing drugs and smoking weed. And like when they're 12, it's weird.
Yeah. Well, I hope you know you can always talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And number one, I want to keep you safe. And I think one of the biggest things we worry about with young people drinking, it is just like getting in cars with people who have been drinking and driving and being in unsafe situations with your friends or, yeah, unfortunately, even around boys or guys who can take advantage of girls when they've been drinking. So, on a positive note, what do you think of your sober mom now? And I have to say, like, it was so sweet. You have been like my biggest cheerleader and really always rooting for me to be sober. And then I love that you changed the Netflix sign in for me to sober mom with a picture of Titus Andromeda. What do you think of sober mom?
She's a lot funner and like I like used to feel like I couldn't talk to you when you drank, but now I feel like I can because you like, I don't know, you're more like chilled back and your Instagram reels are kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, what do you think of Alcohol Tipping Point?
Well, I like how you started your own business from the bottom, and I think that's really cool. And I like your Instagram, but some of the Instagram reels are a little questionable.
Cringy? Okay, I will take that for sure.
There you are.
Yes, that means I'm doing it right. What advice do you have to kids who have parents who drink or have drinking problems? How about that? Who drink too much?
Probably don't do what I did, guilt tripping your parents into not drinking. That was not the best decision I could have made. But I would let them know how you feel with their drinking and how it affects you and like your personal life and how like it affects your family. But don't make it seem like they're a failure to your family. Because that's kind of what I did to my mom. Is I kind of just threw her under a bus. And like made her feel bad about it. So I wouldn't make them feel bad about it, but I just let them know how it affects you.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I mean, I did feel like you were throwing me under the bus. I did feel like I was living with a little cop sometimes, but I knew that it was always coming from a place of love and caring. I just didn't like how much it was
affecting you and stressing you out. That was not fair to you at all, that you were taking on so much. What would you say to a mom or dad that's listening and they're trying to change their drinking?
Throw it all at yourself at once and don't I feel like you shouldn't make it like the biggest thing that you're focusing on until you're ready to quit for real instead of take a break. Don't throw it on to the whole family. I'm trying to word this in a nicer way.
Just be honest.
I feel like don't act like you're the most achieving person in the world because you've done a week without alcohol until you've done something that's actually worthy of celebration, because a week without alcohol I feel like it's just not worthy of a celebration. And stop rewarding yourself with alcohol for being against alcohol.
Right.
It's just all your progress is gone.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that, okay, your goal was to not drink and now you're rewarding yourself by drinking.
Yeah.
And to be fair, just I see what you're saying with a week off not being a big deal and not to reward it with alcohol, obviously. But for a lot of people, a week without drinking is a big deal if you've been drinking nightly. But find other ways of rewarding.
Also, NA alcohol.
Oh, you recommend NA beer?
Yeah, and my mom did a good transitioning out of alcohol to NA beer and then to no alcohol. Or
Yeah.
I also liked to drink the NA beer. It was disgusting, but I felt...
Well, okay, it's not like you were drinking a whole bottle.
No, I
of
drank
beer.
a sip of it.
Yeah, okay. I know, can you believe people drink? Having tasted it.
I know.
Anything else you want to say to me?
I'm pregnant.
Well, hell no.
DW.
Don't worry.
DWJK.
Okay.
LMAO.
For reals, though.
No. Maybe turn it down on the Insta Reels.
Okay. To be fair. Well, I love you.
Love you too.
I love all your support and honesty. Yeah, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Alcohol Tipping Point podcast. Please share and review the show so you can help other people too. I want you to know I'm always here for you, so please reach out and talk to me on Instagram at Alcohol Tipping Point, and check out my website, alcoholtippingpoint.com, for free resources and help. No matter where you are on your drinking journey, I want to encourage you to just keep practicing, keep going. I promise you are not alone and you are worth it. Every day you practice not drinking is a day you can learn from. I hope you can use these tips we talked about for the rest of your week, and until then, talk to you next time.